common misconception about a network is that you don't have one or that you don't know the right people. And this can feel really overwhelming, especially when you're looking for a job in a competitive market. I'm going to share with you some insights that I use with students and clients every day to make this more manageable and doable. I want you to start with the people that you know, your friends and family members. Do they work at tech companies? Maybe they don't have the exact role that you want, but they work at a tech company. You can have a conversation with them, not about getting a referral or a job, but genuinely being curious about what it's like working at that company. And then if you feel like that company might be a fit, ask them to introduce you to somebody, to the team that you want to be a part of. Maybe it's UX designer, software development, or data science, whatever it might be. So start with the people that you know and ask yourself, do they work at companies that I might want to work at? Do they know people who work at companies that I might want to work at? And that's where LinkedIn and Facebook stalking in an ethical way is really helpful. I want you to think of concentric circles. At the very core is your friends and family, and then you start moving apart, looking at institutions or things that you have in common. So for instance, maybe people that you went to school with, even if it wasn't at the same time, even if you weren't friends at the same time, if they went to your alma mater, they're going to be more likely to want to talk to you, so you can reach out to them. Or maybe wherever you have worked, former colleagues or people who worked at the company after you, even if you didn't coincide. Right? If you're still like, hey, hi from a fellow insert name of company, they're going to be far more likely to want to talk to you. I want you to think expansively about your network. And this includes your family members, your friends' friends, former lovers, anybody that you know who has a job or has had a job is a potential introduction to a company into a world of possible opportunities. The second thing that I want you to do is to look ahead in the future and create the life that you want. Go ahead 2 years, 5 years in the future and ask yourself, where do I think I want to work? What company? Then come up with a list of maybe like 3 to 5 companies, and then reach out to people who are in the role that you want to have, who are already there. And you can find them on LinkedIn. You can book calls with them on websites like Amazing Design People List, ADP List, and then have a conversation about their journey, their career, what allowed them to get there, so that you can make sure that you're actually taking the right steps to get to where you want to be. Now, again, what's critical here is you're not asking for a referral. You're not making this transactional. You actually want to build a relationship with those people so that they can coach you and mentor you as you go along. The third thing that I want you to do is open yourself up to serendipity. So far, it's been very targeted. Who do I know who works at a tech company, or know somebody who works at a tech company? Or let me look at tech companies that I admire and reach out to people who work there. Very directed. I also want you to have a more serendipitous approach. And what I mean by that is go to where the opportunities are. Go to where the people are. And I specifically want you to do 3 things. Number 1, the city that you want to job search in, and it might be where you live or somewhere aspirational. So what I want you to do is go on LinkedIn and type the position that you want. So that might be UX designer, and look for people in the city that you want to job search in. So maybe that's New York. Now, if possible, I want you to find points of commonality. So maybe if you attended the same school, at the school, or people who worked at a specific company that you worked at, that's only going to make it more likely, because remember, degrees of connection. If you don't have that, that's okay. UX designer in New York, you're going to get a lot of people. Now go through those profiles and see who do you think seems interesting. Then I want you to connect with 3 to 5 people and have a conversation about their journey. So now you're expanding your network based on curiosity, and now you know people who have jobs in the city, in the field that you want. I actually had a student do this in Denver. He connected with 5 people. One of them said, hey, do you want me to refer you to the first company that hired me after I became a UX designer? And he was like, yeah. So that's what opening to serendipity means. It's amazing. Now, the second thing I want you to do is attend an in-person event. There's a lot of energy that happens in person. You can't predict it. And I want you to expose yourself to meeting somebody who's going to be exciting, meeting your next friend, meeting somebody who's going to connect you to somebody else. And the third thing that I want you to do is join relevant Slack and online communities. A lot of times, hiring managers, instead or before posting a job on LinkedIn, they're going to post it on curated Slack communities. Why? Because there's fewer people. So they're placing a bet on fewer candidates, but higher quality. So you want to be where those opportunities are. So I want you to join at least 3 relevant communities. When I say relevant, I really mean 3 things. One is location. So if you're going to be job searching in Austin, join those Slack communities. The second thing is industry. So do you have a sense of what industry you might want to join? Maybe it's edtech or fintech or manufacturing. Join those groups so that you can also find people and opportunities. And the third one is identity. Any identity that you're a part of, I want you to join those groups. In my case, I would join Women in Tech. And it's a great way to open myself up to serendipity and meet people who I have something in common with, because remember, if I have degrees of commonality, it's more likely that I can build a relationship and have a conversation.